Yeah. Look out your window. Knicks fans is on your block. Y'all know the Knicks run the city. Pull them shades back. Look out your window. Look down there on the block. That's Knicks fans right there. It's about that time. It's about that time of the week when you get ready for your work week with the man that is so smooth. He does not require a chaser. Your main man, the real, still the real Anthony D. And your main man, Jersey's finest, the hood representative, Uncle Freezy. Let's go! Let's go! It's Old School Knicks on your Sunday morning. I'm your main man, the number one chief rock in Knicks universe, Uncle Freezy. I'm joined by the man that is so smooth, he does not require a chaser. Anthony D is in the building. Salute. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Salute, salute, salute. Salute to the chat. You already know where we're going to start. Wherever we start. Behind the scenes, we already started. Freezy, what's wrong with nepotism, yo?
I don't see anything wrong with nepotism. I only see things wrong with nepotism when the boat is rocked. When you rock the boat, when things don't go right, nepotism then should only be questioned if the team goals are being compromised. But if the team goal ain't being compromised, man, I ain't worried about no. You bringing your son in here, your son probably know more about the business than we do, because your son legit hear more about it than everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Your son hear about it at work and at home. You know what I'm saying?
The reason why I started there this morning is because, as we're doing our due diligence to prepare for a show to give the people what they want, what they need, when they need it. What are we doing? What are you, air traffic controller? What the hell are you doing?
Man. Yeah.
Lost my focus for a second. You give me an eye test?
Yeah, my finger took off by itself, bro.
But I'm listening to these people. And I mean, when I say people, I mean media, fans, and whatever. And this is so hateful for LeBron. And this is not only a LeBron and Bronny thing. This is also a Brunson family thing. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You in a position to make powerful moves.
Right.
And you should feel bad because you have the hammer that you can put the word out and tell every team, don't draft my son. I want to play with my son.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You're sitting there with your lovely wife. You're discussing the future of your son like 8-9 months ago or whatever. And you say, hey, my son is better than a lot of these guys in the NBA.
Right.
How is that unfamiliar when you talk about your children? When somebody says, show me a picture of your son. Oh, remember back in the day, you pop out the wallet, it got like 50 pictures.
Right.
Random.
Right.
Of your children, because why? These are your pride and joy.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that you wouldn't do to assist them in life going forward.
Right.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with Brunson's dad getting the NBA is actually investigating when he got the promotion, why he got the promotion. Did Brunson taking $200 million less? Was this the reason why the Knicks? Like, come on, what's wrong with that?
That did seem kind of
petty.
No, on all sides, right?
Pathetic.
On all sides, it did seem kind of bold. Let me say that. It did seem kind of bold. I ain't gonna lie. Like Rick Brunson out of nowhere, like all of a sudden, Rick Brunson went from a dude that couldn't get an NBA job nowhere, was coaching high school basketball, to getting a job with the Knicks, like right before Jalen, right? And then all of a sudden, he's a top assistant. He's a top assistant in the league. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with that. Some of these coaches that show up from out of nowhere, like some of these guys, you just see them, they show up from out of nowhere. You have no idea who these dudes are. Look, the dude that's coaching the San Antonio Spurs right now, you have no idea where that dude came from. Right? The dude that's coaching while Pop is out due to illness.
Right.
You don't know where he came from, bro. Right? Now, so this is the way I take it, right? I take it as the Knicks are establishing a hierarchy, right? Tibbs ain't gonna coach forever. He done got his bag. The Knicks finally, after 50 years of looking like a clown show, have systems in place, right? Basically, what it's gonna look like is when Tibbs finally says, "Hey, man, all this travel, I'm 70 years old, go find me a woman." Right? Like when Tibbs do that, and find out what the dating scene is like. You know what I'm saying? I hear nice trying to talk to a lady. Hey, woman. When Tibbs out there sounded like
you sound like Mr. T. Hey, woman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When Tibbs finally decided to get a life, basically what they want to do is have the program keep rolling as it was, because we're successful at something right now. We think this path that we're on is a path to success, right? And so with Rick Brunson being the heir apparent, the NBA is thinking, or people around the NBA is thinking like, yo, this ain't fair, blah, blah, blah. But you know what though, AD? Nobody investigated the Pistons about Arn Tellem's son getting Troy Weaver and them fired, basically handcuffing them, right? You see how bad the Pistons look, right? When Troy Weaver was the guy, right? Because he can't make certain moves, right? Because Arn Tellem, part owner, team president / part owner, right, is his son gets a job and he had no experience in this industry before, but he telling the dude with 50 years of basketball experience what to do, right? And then the dude with 50 years of basketball experience get fired. They bring in a new guy that they can make their puppet, right? And so, but when the Knicks do it at the lowest level you can imagine, the Knicks don't do it at the assistant coach level, the NBA is tripping.
Because that's the NBA for you. And they've been watching us and doing things against us since the late Stern. Notice I didn't say great. I said late.
Late, yeah.
So I want to keep it respectful. Suspending a team, suspending 9 guys or 7 guys off of a team in the playoffs.
Right.
One of them being Ewing.
And the other team got 2 guys suspended, and they wasn't even rotation players.
It's just ridiculous. Like, that's Jalen Brunson's father. How does he get here?
Right.
I've seen, him on the podcast with his son and whatever, and they're talking about it, and not about that in particularly per se, but right. You think he's not going to talk to his dad? His godfather is the president of the organization.
Yeah, and all of this stuff happened before Jalen Brunson got here, by the way.
Because what? They laid out the plan.
Right.
And they were watching Dallas closely. They asked for whatever it was, 50, 60 or whatever. Dallas said, scoffed at him.
Dallas was like, we was thinking more like 30.
We're thinking more like 20. Right? We thinking, well, we know you had a good performance in the playoffs and all, and you showed that you can step in for Luka here and there, and
never mind that 2 years into your contract, 2 years. The thing with Dallas is 2 years into his second round pick contract, they were like, "Oh, holy crap! This dude's a baller."
Yeah.
They didn't try to tear up the last 2 years of it.
No.
They were like, "Nah, we just gonna let you. We
We
just
gonna
gonna
let
let
you
you work
rock.
on this indentured
Mm-hmm.
servant contract."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then, and then when the day come where it's time to extend, like, hey, he didn't give us a chance. Nah, I had 2 years.
That's why you got your daddy that played in the league that can say, no,
Right.
I don't think so.
Right.
Son.
If it wasn't for Rick, he'd probably still be in Dallas.
Okay.
Because for those that you can't talk about what you don't know. And Rick knew because Rick was one of those fringe roster players.
Yes. Well, how long he played? 10 years on the rosters going around. Then he went overseas and whatever. So he's a hooper for life. And someone who is smart enough to sit there when he's not playing and to dissect the game. And while he's teaching his son the game, because I've seen, the Brunson documentary with him. Since JB is like 6'7", they out there all day, right? Pushing him.
You talking about 6'7" age, 6-7 years old.
Yeah. He's the original. That's Jesus Shuttlesworth 25 years later. Remember that? Remember when Denzel and Ray, and Ray with young Ray, and they in the park, and it's what you gonna buy your mama? Buy her a house. What size house? Whatever house she want. Right. These are the things he's repeating to him as they're training in the rain and the snow and getting up early. Ron Artest's father out here in Queensbridge.
Big Ron Singer.
Big Ron, right?
Yeah, Ron.
In Queensbridge, shots is firing all over the place. They out there shoveling the snow off the court. Ain't nobody shooting at Big Ron and Little Ron.
No, because they know Big Ron. They know Big Ron. And this is his seat. This little dude right here is the future.
And this dude was the future.
Yeah.
And the word was put out, don't get Ron in nothing.
Right, in nothing.
Even if he looked like he wanted to do something, guide his butt home.
Right.
Or wherever.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It is absolutely, because the ones, John Morant's father. I've had one or two things to say about the brother or whatever, because I thought some things went right, but that's still how he got there.
T's a
how did Ja get there? Before we heard everything John things start to unravel the last 2 years or whatever, how'd Ja get there?
Yeah, T and his wife, man.
Did he get there without it? I saw Ja jumping on those monster track wheels. Right. Those big, the big truck wheels, jumped on like 10 of them.
Yeah.
To increase.
Right. Because T played too. Like T played too. Bro, it don't matter how much skill you got, bro. If you're not a athlete of a certain level, you're not gonna make it, bro.
No.
You can have all the skill. You can look like Tyler Kolek all you want, bro. If you don't have a certain level of athleticism at that next level, bro, it's just.
We get mad at LeVar Ball. The balls.
Right.
Pause. We didn't know the man said this first quote that made national news was, my son is better than Steph Curry. The entire world was like, what?
What? He crazy. Yeah.
Better than Steph? I know you're part of the light-skinned brigade, but you at the bottom. He at the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He El DeBarge.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He way up top there. But for the mere fact
and the other dude is James DeBarge.
And the other might as well have been Earl DeBarge.
Bonnie. Bonnie DeBarge. She can sing too, though. Bonnie can sing.
Yeah, she can. Yeah, she. Who you think is singing The Dream?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dream. Fantasy. That's my joint. Oh my God, that's my. And I love DeBarge.
I love DeBarge.
Oh my God, everything, everything, even in the rhythm of the night, all of that. All of that.
We ain't talking about the Jets either. We talking about DeBarge from Detroit, Michigan.
Gosh,
That's what we talk about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
your father is important. You know what I mean? Family's important. Cause
Right.
that's how you get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kobe.
Yeah.
Jelly Bean Bryant. How you think he got that good?
How you think Bean knew how to navigate the system, bro?
Yeah.
You know, Bean could have Kobe could have legit had a story like Jonathan Bender. Super athletic, all the skills in the world, but you got to know how to navigate this thing, bro. You need somebody who's been there and done that. Nepotism. That's why nepotism is good in some.
Look, I grew up. You grew up listening to the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
The cartoon was the greatest thing ever.
Bro, when I saw them on Scooby-Doo, in the 70s.
Scooby-Doo, they made it.
They official.
Official. But the tagline you would hear for so long is Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson actually made his children got to get up and go get the wet stuff at the pool and slap them around or whatever. Oh my God, discipline to a child.
Oh, what is that?
What is that?
You can't discipline a child.
You can't do that.
Right.
What?
Right.
I was having a furious argument one night at work, and this was with my man, older OG from Harlem in the game. We at work, we arguing, and he's like, he should have went out there and got it on his own. I'm like, fam, before we go too far in the argument, okay, I want to paint the scene for you. They're from Gary, Indiana.
Right.
If you don't know what Gary, Indiana is now, it was the same thing then. Right. He's one of the poorest men in Gary, Indiana, and he got like 15 kids.
Right.
But he recognizes the talent that he had and his wife had. They weren't eating. Of course, his wife is talented. I want them pushed out. Shout out to
very talented.
Absolutely. The empress of the clan.
Shout out to the ladies.
Absolutely. Right? But he realizes I ain't never gonna make it.
Right.
He ain't never gonna make it. But these kids here, they got something.
Right.
Right? And we got to get up out of here. We have to get, by any means necessary, we got to get up out of here, because what's the alternative? That's what nepotism does. Your father does that. Okay? Now, too many times we know once you get there, the shit goes left. Right?
Right. And
the money ain't right, the this ain't right, the accolades ain't right. No one remembers who got there. It's this agent, that agent, Barry Gordy, this Gordy, that, whatever. But it's how you got there. So who cares how you pay them back? It ain't coming out of your pocket. Why do you care? Why is it a deal?
Yo, I'll say this. It's similar. It's similar to doing this joint right here, right? Like not just this, but like running the YouTube channel. Like in the past, people would complain like, Uncle Freezy won't let me talk. You know what I'm saying? All I want to do is just get up there and say my thing. And I'm like, bro, do you know how much stuff it takes to run a channel? Do you know how much stuff behind the scenes that it takes that you have to monitor and be responsible for? And you want to get up here and talk about Quentin Grimes for 99 minutes straight, back to back.
To back.
Now, yeah, right. Like, nah, bro, it don't work like that. You just there's a thing to your point about the superstar thinking that they the one singing to the crowd. They feel like they're the one making all the money and all that stuff, but they don't take into account the travel and the relationships behind the scenes, who you have to talk to, all these people that you have to, you know what I'm saying? The venue, the security, the food, the travel, all these different things. And all you did was practice the song and got up there and sang it, and you think you deserve all the money. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. So you can sit back from afar, from a fan's perspective, you watching this grow, and you're like, wow, why does the daddy move on? Go get a life.
Go get a life, right.
You think it's easy for the child or whomever just to walk away from you
Nah.
and give it all away
Right.
to outside of nepotism,
Right. Right.
and then watch you potentially lose it all?
Right.
When I could have sat here and helped you and helped guided you through it,
Even if it's uncomfortable.
even
Even when we uncomfortable and mad at each other, still do it.
even if it's uncomfortable,
Yep. Still do it. Yeah.
because it's only your parents can have those tough conversations with you. My mother yelled at me yesterday
Hey man, you deserved it.
because I did.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did. I'm a grown ass man. Yelled at me yesterday.
Yep.
So I had to apologize because why? I may know a lot and whatever, but I was doing too much.
Right.
And it's in those moments like, well, how did you get here? Got here from your dad. So if you're repaying your dad and your dad and whoever is getting something from it, like, why is that bad?
So we're talking about the Lakers, like LeBron and Bronny, right?
Yeah. And Brunson.
Well, no. Let me do the Lakers and Bronny, the LeBron and Bronny thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick because I want to prove a point. Right. So it's nepotism when the greatest player of all time wants his son to play on a team with him, right? That's nepotism. But was it nepotism when the owner, Dr. Buss, brought his kids into that same atmosphere and taught them the business? And then when he passed away, he passed the torch to his kids. That's not nepotism, right? And so that makes me think: is this a race thing? Is this a black or white thing? Is this a culture thing, or is this a thing where LeBron is loved and hated at the same time?
All of that, especially the latter.
Right. And so when you think about it, nobody's questioning how Jeannie Buss got ownership of the Lakers, right? She got it from her father. Her father passed it to her. They father, I think it was like 4 of them or 3 of them or however many of it.
And she and the brother was fighting.
Yep.
Right, with Magic somewhere in the middle, somewhere around.
Yeah.
Right, but it was still a family thing.
Right.
It's like, would you rather an outsider come in and take over the Lakers, even if the Lakers sucked for the entire rest of their organization?
Yeah.
Right. You want to force the family out? You want to force the daughter and the sons and everyone else out? It doesn't work like that.
No, it don't. And whether it's nepotism or not, it's just how certain things. It's just that's why you have the term prince and princess, right? Because when the king is going to give them responsibilities while he's alive, and then when he's no longer able to be the king, the princes and princesses, and not the guy from Lake Minnetonka, y'all. I'm talking about I'm talking about the heir apparents. You know what I'm saying? The heir apparents that were trained, they get to take over and move up the hierarchy. So the thing with Bronny is only a thing because people constantly look for things to complain about. To me, that's my take on it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, man. It was just some of those things that early in the week, I'm just like, come on, guys, come on now. What are you trying to do? You trying to make us? You trying to make us now hate our family? You want to all of a sudden present, Big Brunson as what? Something as a hanger on?
Yeah, right.
Like all of a sudden you can kind of see that, it felt like from when Big Ragu was here during the preseason at the foul line, and they were going through their thing, back and forth, and after the game and the media picked it up and the tagline, or things got worse when you started making decisions. Who's he talking to?
Hey man.
Right? Who's he talking to?
You know what hey, to your point, just real quick, because I know you want to roll, and I'm sorry.
No, we go.
I just got something I wanted to mention, right? Mm-hmm. To me, it reminded me of that movie, A Few Good Men. Any movie fans in the chat? chat, any of y'all are movie buffs? Like any of y'all enjoy watching like a great movie with great actors in it, right? And if not, some people are music fans. Some people are, have other activities that they prefer. With me, I'm a movie fan. And so when Dante was at the free throw line, it reminded me of a movie called A Few Good Men. When Dante was at the line trying to figure out who ordered the code red, right? And he was looking at Rick Brunson. He was looking at Rick Brunson like, who ordered the code red, right? And yeah, chat. Anybody in the chat remember that movie, A Few Good Men?
Absolutely.
Right. And so that movie is 30 AD. That movie is 30 AD.
35 years, something like that.
That movie is 30 something years old, bro. That's crazy when you think about it, right?
Still worth watching.
Still, every time you see it, bro, a classic, right? But when Dante was at the free throw line trying to figure out who ordered the code red, right? And then when you found out that it might have been Rick, you're like, holy crap. You like, yo, holy crap, is Rick that powerful?
Rick did him.
Right. Rick ordered the code red. So if Rick ordered the code red, Knicks fans, you automatically should know that assistant coaches don't generally walk around with power like that. AD told me about a year and a half ago, he said a phrase, and if you hadn't heard it by now, he said the Brunson crime family. Is that what it was? The Brunson crime family? Is that how you said it?
It was that, and the house of the Brunsons.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
AD brought that to my attention because I was like, nah, man, he's just a basketball player, bro. And the other dude's just an assistant coach. They don't have no power. They're just gonna come and play. I'm thinking all naive. You know what I'm saying?
I said it after the first year. I said, if I was him, I'd have walked in Dolan's office and kicked my feet up and said, hey, how we doing this?
Yeah.
How we doing this?
Yeah. And AD, we don't think that happens in other organizations.
What's my guy with the old quarterback with the Cleveland Browns? You know what I'm talking about. Kozar,
yeah.
The man said his father had a side deal with the Browns. They gave his father like $1 million. Right? And I know he's feeling like, how could you give my father $1 million?
Right.
Whether it's from my money or not. My thing is this. That's $1 million extra that the family got out of the team.
Bim. Right.
Okay? How about that? Should you get broke, right? We got something here on the side.
Derrick Rose's brother gets $100,000 a year from Adidas, bro. His brother, that dude don't play
Okay?
for the rest of his life.
Why we mad? When I saw that because that Kozar clip was from a documentary called Broke from 30 for 30.
With Leon Searcy's story in it?
Yeah, Leon and all of them. Because they all broke.
Right. I'll be right back, yo. I got to go.
Right? They all broke. But Kozar, as he's telling the story, he's like, he makes it seem as if his dad was, or maybe not him, but how they framed the story, it makes it seem like the dad is a crook. Right? Because how could my father get $1 million? Oh, dear God, my father got $1 million instead of looking at it as that the family got an extra $1 out of the organization. See what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with nepotism. Nepotism should be celebrated, should absolutely be celebrated because that's how else you're going to build generational wealth in situations like that. Okay? Jalen Brunson is not going to be 20, what is he now? 27, 28? He's not going to be that forever. He gets older every day, every year. So in this time when you can wield power, and even in this whole nepotism story here, no one talks about the fact that he gave the Knicks back a major chunk of money in order for them to do the plan to win the championship. Because guess what? He's all in. It's a family thing. There's nothing wrong with nepotism. If I was in that position, I'm gonna tell people that Freezy's my big brother. You understand? Freezy got to get this check. Jay Boogie got to get this check. You understand? Whoever is a part of this old school Knicks, Bloods, Tears family, I'm gonna take care of you. As I'm looking at the chat, let me just stop here for a second because we did not salute the chat. 7 grand salute, Long Island Sound salute, Ivy salute, and everyone else that's rolling in the chat. Tell me if you rocking with me with nepotism. Big Bob is in the chat, Cowboy Bob. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how else are you going to be able to, if you're in a position like that, to help push the family along? Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely. But as I touched on Big Ragu for a second there, and I'm glad Freezy's gone for a second because I remember saying this to him, like maybe like when the trade happened, and I said, I feel like there's going to be a return of the Big Ragu, Dante DiVincenzo. Anybody in chat remember that? Right? And then, well, maybe I'm like, something just tells me like I'm feeling that there could be a return. And then all of a sudden this past week, I'm reading that Minnesota, it's not going well for him and Julius in Minnesota. Now, I'm not talking about a return of Julius, although we could use the power forward rebounding numbers and physicality and so forth. I ain't talking about that because we could never return there. Is it possible that they could be a part 2 of Dante's Inferno? Oh. Thank you for jumping in right there, Freezy.
Salute to my brother Rel. Rel, Wednesday night, it's about to go down. I heard AD the whole time, man. I was just in here, just doing a couple things. AD, I appreciate what you said just now, bro.
I mean, which part of it? The entire nepotism, the entire nepotism philosophy. Freezy, like I said, I got it. You my big brother. You understand? The Blondes Tears family, we rolling together. Why? Where did I start?
Yeah.
Who found me?
Yeah,
if I catch a lick tomorrow and all of a sudden you heard that I caught a lick and I'm
quitting my job, bro.
You sending me the link every Sunday morning, same time or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm no longer responding. Right? But you hear me on Sirius, whatever. You heard that.
You want me to send you these? I'll send you these so you can hit the link. so you can hit the link. Now, why you waiting to hit your link? I'll send it to you right now.
Right? So how does that gonna make you feel?
Right.
You're gonna be out there, but I did ask you a question, Freeze.
No, how would it make me feel? Okay. So here's the thing, everybody. Y'all know I'm a little different than most human beings. So if AD was to hit a link and I never heard from him again directly, I would be so excited for AD. I would stand up and clap in my living room and be excited that he made it. Right. The thing is about relationships. It's not always about what you get in return. Sometimes you have to consider, or most times you have to consider what the other person is getting. So if AD was to all of a sudden be on Sirius, because there are a lot of dudes, there are a lot of men in Knicks universe right now that got their start with Mars Tears. They don't so much as text me and say, "Hey man, how you doing today?" or whatever. For some, it's been years. For some, it's been years. One dude that do remind me every Heck from Heck that's doing the
morning brew.
Yeah, Heck got so many different things going on. Heck remind me all the time, like, hey bro, I just really appreciate the fact that you was, what I'm saying. Heck could go through his thing. Some of it is private messages, so I don't want to share those because in private conversations you keep private conversations private. That's what make the message that much better. is because it's a direct message to you. The world don't have to know, right?
Right.
But if AD was to all of a sudden be sitting next to Dexter Henry on every show every day, I'd be super excited for AD, right? He ain't got to say nothing else to me. He could just take off and do the now. Would it be a cherry on top if he did? Yes, it'll absolutely be a cherry on top. But as a man, for somebody that care about AD, I don't care about the Uncle Freezy part. I care about the AD part, and I know that's rare. I know that's rare, right? And so I'm not trying to say, and I don't say that just to be spitting alphabet soup. That's just how I am as a person. Every person is not the same, right? Like you see a lot of Wise in the chat, right? Wise can attest to you. One of the things about me is when somebody else is successful, I don't mind standing up and clapping, right? Like say if we at the award show and you really want to win and somebody else won, a lot of those people that you see in the audience, they'll stand up and they'll be gracious and they'll clap like, hey man, he did a great job. He beat me this time, but he may not beat me again next year. I'm gonna try again next year. Right. It's just part of that part about being gracious. Right. But to your point also about the Dante DiVincenzo return, absolutely we'd be excited about the Dante return. Right. Remember, AD, how long did Dante play here? For 7 years?
You'd have thought it was 10.
You would have thought it was 10. That dude played here for 1 season.
1 season.
1 season. And we grew to love that dude in 1 season. Right? Our love affair with Dante is there were dudes that played here for multiple seasons and we like good riddance. Right? Right. For some of y'all, Randall played here for 5 years. Y'all still don't like Randall.
Peace.
I mean, I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite, right? I'm the opposite of that. I love Randall and I love his family, and I guess I can say it now that he's gone. But for years, y'all, I've been like, for years, man, I've been not every day or every week, but for years or so, we've been talking to like certain Knicks players behind the scenes, right? And so. Right. And so it's one of those things where now that you don't have those conversations, you kind of miss that player, right? Like the beef with Grimes people, right? For me calling him a hamster.
Now, you know, I was one of those guys that if you want to call me a Grimes hive, you could call me a Grimes hive.
Oh my God! Oh.
Because I remember seeing that man, you know, in the pre-drafts and so forth, and that he was giving buckets, okay. You know, and I thought he was an NBA player. That was correct. Now, there's levels to this.
Right, there are levels, yes.
But with Dante, there's just something that resonates off some players when they get here.
Right.
And you can feel like it's not a burden. Right. But because remember, he had like 3 guys in front of him.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And because of injury and trades, all of a sudden, his minutes was projected at, when we first got him, maybe 15, something like that. But all of a sudden, it's at 36. Right? And on many nights, he's playing well into the 40s.
Yeah.
And stroking. Pause. Right? Right? But doing his thing on the biggest stage, and we're watching him play both sides of the ball, and the energy, right. the tenacity, the way he would go. Dante, people did not know how good a defender he was before he got here.
I did, AD, you know that. I talked to y'all about that.
No, I know you did. But when he got here, all of a sudden,
but real fans, like I'm not a real fan, right? I'm not a real fan. I'm a crazy fan that watches the entire league and do the prospect stuff and the deep analytics. But I weigh all of those. I treat all of them as equal. Fans
Right.
don't care, bro. Fans is like, did the ball go in or did it not?
Right.
Right.
But he was, you see what I'm saying? He was everything. He was like Starks 20-something years later.
Right.
But in a small picture.
Right.
Like, I knew he could hit big shots. We talked about it on the show leading into the playoffs. I was like, nah, he's going to hit some big shots.
Right.
Because he's a big shot taker. Go back to college.
Right.
He literally rescued Villanova in the finals one year. What he had, 31, 32, something like that. So would I welcome a Dante, a big Ragu return? Oh my God. I don't know what went wrong in Minnesota or whatever. Land of the lakes and all of that. But something has gone wrong. I saw Randall the other night talking about, you'd have thought Randall was like the leader of the team. I've got to do better. I've got to be better. Like, Randall, you just got there. What happened? You're not even 20 games in. You're like, 16 games in?
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes time. But to hear specifically that Dante could be, on the trading market, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
But, hey, sucks to be you. But I would take him back.
I would take Dante back right now.
I'd take him back. Absolutely. And it's nothing because what we got here right now, I'm not unhappy with this. I'm very happy with this, but yeah.
But he's the perfect piece, bro.
Yeah.
He's the perfect piece.
I
would not only would I take Dante back, I would put on a Melba Moore record. I would dust off a Melba. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah, I got to stop talking like that, man, because I realize that everybody ain't of the same age group. So as soon as I said Melba Moore record, right?
Sometimes you got people. Well, maybe it'll make people go back and look. Like this past weekend, you know me already. I was in my my cinemas and Black Caesar came on.
Oh.
Now, mind you, this is not somebody you should aspire to be, but in a timepiece in the early 1970s, to see Black people on screen in a prominent position,
being in charge,
especially as the bad guy,
bro. What?
You know what I mean? Because what's my man, Fred Williamson, right? Who was
Hammer.
The Hammer. People don't remember that Fred Williamson was an NFL ball player.
Yeah, and a black belt in karate.
Black belt in karate, all of that. Making his own films and things of that nature.
Flyest sideburns in the game.
Flyest sideburns in the game, right? When you see him, mind you, this man got shot in the stomach at about 12 p.m. early in the afternoon and is still rolling around holding the same wound like 15 hours later in no hospital. Right. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Goes down, gets on the train, gets off the train, gets off. You cannot make this up.
Bro, you can't make it. Yeah.
But to him, at that moment in time, as a little kid, he was a hero.
Hero, bro. Hero.
Absolutely.
Not no ham sandwich. I'm talking about a hero.
Damn. But those movies, those times, it also, I was watching Foxy Brown, the original Foxy Brown with Pam Grier this weekend.
Oh, you said Pam Grier. Lord have mercy.
Lord. I've always, if I could, she's one of the persons in life that I would want to sit down and have a conversation with. And the thing is, as I'm watching that movie, because I hadn't watched it in maybe like 15 years at least.
Yeah.
And it kind of starts out, not kind of, it does start with she's in her room and, Antonio Fargas is in that movie, plays her brother, right? Huggy Bear.
Huggy Bear. Yeah.
You know, it starts with them trying to, capture or capitalize on the fact that she's so beautiful, and they flash the boobs, or it's more than a flash. And I'm going to ask them, like, how comfortable are you with that? Like, they don't take you that seriously as an actor, as a woman, as someone who's going to be out there to be for the next generations of females, not just black, but females in general, coming on into so forth and so forth. Like, before they even hear what you sound like, your titties are the first thing that we see.
Right. No, I feel you. I feel you. I understand where you're coming from there, but I ain't gonna front, bro.
You was happy? you a 12-year-old boy?
So when Foxy Brown came out, I might have been 7 when that movie came out. So I couldn't even see it. I didn't see that part till. But anyways, I guess the point that I'm getting at is even when he said Antonio Fargas, the nepotism part came up. Here's a nepotism thing. Antonio Fargas had a son that people felt like shouldn't have gotten a college scholarship to Michigan.
Yes. Justin Fargas.
People were saying that the only reason why he was getting a shot is because he was Huggy Bear's son. Right. And so the thing is, whether that's true or not, a lot of the stuff we get a shot on is because people trust or know us, and they give us a chance. There are some people in the chat that, whether it's fair or unfair, they never get a shot. They never get a chance. It's a few of y'all in the chat that legit deserve the opportunity to at least try. But you don't know anybody that could give you the opportunity for you to shoot your shot, right? But if your brother or sister was in the spot to give you a chance, then you would get that shot, whether it was fair or unfair, whether you deserved it or didn't deserve it, right? And that's why when AD bring up the nepotism thing, right? When he bring up the nepotism thing, I believe in nepotism is good, but shouldn't be exploited. That's my stance on it. Now, if he don't deserve a shot and you keep giving him chance after chance after chance after chance, at some point you got to move on. At some point you got to move on.
It was the same thing with Austin Rivers and Doc.
Right.
I'm not the biggest fan of Doc, but once a Knick, always a Knick. And when Austin was a big time ball player.
Right.
People forget that. Austin was a big time ball player in college. I think he was drafted somewhere in the top 10.
Right.
He's no Frank Ntilikina, right?
Right.
A good ball player, but he happens to go to a team where his father is the coach. And everybody's mad because they're like, he's getting favoritism. And then he got the contract. Like, who's supposed to grease his pockets if not his father?
That's how this thing works, right?
How does that look during Thanksgiving when you're sitting there with mom and you talking about passing the cranberries? Like, well, you didn't want to give me that money.
Right. Was it nepotism when the Knicks gave Pat Ewing Jr. a shot?
Yes.
So what? Right? So like, what did we lose?
What did we lose?
Nothing. Yeah. You got the opportunity to build a relationship with Pat Ewing Jr. And it also went on to show Patrick Ewing like we actually value you, bro. The way that you left as a ball player is not indicative of how we feel about you overall. You're the greatest Knick ever.
Yes. And what's wrong with us giving your son a legacy a chance?
A chance.
It happens all the time. But because it's LeBron and Bronny, again, I've never been the biggest LeBron fan. One of the greatest ball players, top 3, top however you want. You can never leave him out of the conversation.
No, you can't leave LeBron out of conversation.
He's in the conversation whether you like it or not. How does this kid not get a shot?
LeBron is
if you want to say he belongs in the G League right now, okay, what's wrong with the G League?
bro. He
What's wrong with
20.
that?
He just turned 20. So what?
My thing with to be honest, if you're going to be analytical about it, really, truly, there's nothing wrong if he goes to the G League. But because the powers that be is going to feel embarrassed, like we made the wrong decision. It was only a photo op. Right. Even that, so what?
It's a business.
It's business. So what? You know, so what if he touted his son to be the next whatever? Like we said earlier. That's just what it is.
Right.
You know, you're not gonna make this man into feeling like he should not do for his son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kenyon Martin's son is in the league.
Kenyon Martin's son. Yeah.
And it's not because he can't play. Is he his dad? No, he's not 6'10", 6'11".
That's probably the only thing. He's not 6'10" or 6'11", and he plays the same type style.
Yes.
He's like 6'6" and plays like big.
Yes.
Type. Yeah.
Uber athletic.
Yep.
Right? There's just nothing wrong with it. You know, this sports and business overall is about relationships. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But before we do get out of here, sir, did you catch last night's game? And give me your thoughts, sir.
As soon as the game started, I thought of this Notorious B.I.G. song.
Uh-oh.
Anybody remember the song? Like he telling the story, and he like about this shit he met, and he go back to yeah, you know what I'm saying? He met this lady, and she take him back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, how do I feel about last afternoon's loss? I don't feel nothing. Right, every team is gonna have these during the course of a year. Right, and we just gonna have the Knicks won 4 in a row. The fact that they lost, does that mean, oh, they didn't win 5 in a row? Fire the coach. Nah, man, relax. The Knicks have beat some very impressive teams, right? And so it's one of them things where you win 4 in a row, you know, you lose 1, you win 1. It's one of them things, man. Worldwide L is in the building. East Blue Drew. LI1 is in the building. I see y'all. Snipes is in the building. Salute my guy Rel. Rel is in the building. Rel, Wednesday soon come, bro. That's all I'm saying. Wednesday at
Dallas. Can't come fast enough.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the Quentin Grimes revenge game. I can't wait for it, bro.
I think he'll get a nice, you know, reception. You know, not that he deserves it or anything like that, like Oakley coming back or anything like that. But I don't see fans booing him when he gets the ball if he plays.
It's in Dallas. It's in Dallas, though.
Oh, it's in Dallas. Oh, why am I thinking we're playing here? Oh, okay.
It's in Dallas. So the thing is, Quentin Grimes is a ham sandwich, right? Ham sandwiches are sustenance. It's food, right?
You need that. You need that to live.
Yeah, it's I didn't call him a flip flop. I called him a ham sandwich. It's sustenance, right? So yeah, but the thing is I think Luka may be out. Luka may be out. He may play. He may be out. I'm not sure. I think the Knicks beat the Mavs. Anyway, I saw how the Mavs beat the Nuggets the other night, and how the Mavs beat the Nuggets is basically by doing some similar stuff that we do.
The Mavs are a good team. I don't think they come out of. I think their opportunity was last year. I don't think they come out of the West this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think they come out of the West this year.
You don't think the Mavs?
No, the West just looks like it shambles to me. Because I'm looking at them like all of a sudden now the Lakers look like, you know, with this young kid they got, and AD is playing, you know, MVP level basketball, and LeBron flushed it on Isaacs the other night.
Yeah.
Like double cocked it.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to jump in the air like this and reach back? while there's a 6'11" dude that's already there with hands like this.
All arms and legs, bro.
LeBron went ha ha bang at 40 years old.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they look like something.
Yeah.
You know, Minnesota, where we talked about, I said the West looks like they're in shambles right now. The East.
Right.
Orlando. Cleveland.
Yeah, it's a bunch of...
Where did Mobley get this? Where did they start this trust factor with Mobley?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Mobley looks... Because I always thought that with Cleveland, I'm not worried about them.
Right.
I watched them the other night, and I was like, oh, okay. If Mobley's going to play like this, then they're a problem. They're a serious problem.
Right.
Jared Allen is playing. You know, I didn't even realize that they were 15-0.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. You know, the only team in the West that I saw, and maybe it's not a team thing, maybe it's a player thing.
Okay.
Steph Curry looks amazing right now.
Yeah.
He looked like he done went to Germany where Kobe was at a few years prior. Steph Curry looks amazing.
Right.
Like, whoa, where did you get that? I was looking at his game and it's just his physicality. I'm like, wow, he looks, what is he, 35?
Yeah.
And he looks like he's 20, 27, 28.
Yeah.
You know, so the state of the game, especially the West, I'm not even going to talk about, you know, the in-season tournament, which I can't stand. The court, the different colors, it just drives me mad. You know, to me, the game sells itself.
Right.
Right, Freezy? Right. And they're nervous because the attendance and the viewership is down. But that's because you guys are you looking for love in the wrong places. You keep on tinkering in places where you don't have to.
Right. Are we wicking Panub in all the wrong places?
We wicking Panub. We wicking Panub.
Panub in all the wrong places.
And all the wrong places. Yes. And they've been doing this for the last 15 years at least.
Right.
And it's always based around, it used to be based around the All-Star weekend. Right. Instead of just leaving it the way it is. Right. No one cares who wins. But they will keep on interjecting things that's just like, all right. Right. Let's leave, you know, the challenge and the this and the junior and the sophomore. I like those things. But everything else is like you're tinkering when you don't need to tinker.
And so, I have a point to that. If you don't mind.
Go ahead, brother.
Your tinkering point. I think what has happened is with the globalization of the game and with the expanding of markets, and we'll probably get two or three more NBA teams before you know it, right? I think what has happened, and chat, I did not talk to AD about this before we started this conversation. All right, so when I say this, it's just going to be raw on both sides. And I apologize if it gets raw on both sides. Right? I think the NBA has too many superstars. Right? In my mind, when the NBA has one superstar and everybody else is chasing that guy, I think the league is at its peak, right? At its peak, right? And the example I use is when Wilt was the mega star and everybody else was really good trying to chase Wilt. It meant something when Wilt lost to the Celtics, right? Because what it showed is a bunch of Davids can beat a Goliath. Right. In the 80s, when Larry Bird was the guy, right? And you have your Magic, your Bernard King, later on your Dominique Wilkins and your Michael Jordan chasing Larry Bird, the league felt different, right? In the 90s, when Jordan was the guy, and you had a whole bunch of other great stars, but you knew who the guy was, you knew who the Don was of that group, it made NBA basketball more intriguing, right? But if I ask you right now, who is the superstar of the league, depending on who you talk to, you may get 7 different answers, right? And the thing about that is, like for instance, I honestly think the best offensive player in the league is Luka Doncic, right? I think Luka is the best player in the league. Now his defense is atrocious. Dallas Mavericks fans will say no, it's just certain clips. I watched Luka play defense. I watched 3 full Dallas games in the last month, I think, and that's not a lot, but it's enough for me to say something. Right in the 3 full games that I saw, that dude's defense is beyond awful. That dude's defense is basura, right?
Mm.
Right. But at the same time, offensively, he's Einstein. And offensively, he's the Stephen Hawking of offense, right? That's what he is on offense. But if AD, who do you think is the superstar of the league right now? If you had to choose one, who is it?
It's still LeBron.
You, see what I mean?
It's still LeBron. We spent most of this past hour here. I don't think we've ever given LeBron this much coverage. It's still LeBron.
Right.
And I'm gonna go different from your take. Okay, because I don't think it's a player thing of chasing that guy.
Right.
It's a team thing. The way how it used to be marketed in every kind of generations, or in some of those earlier times that you mentioned, was in the 80s. It's Bird, Magic, co-stars, and their teams hated each other. West Coast, East Coast,
Right.
Boston was seen as a white team. The Lakers is seen as a black team. Mind you, most of the Boston players were black. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like there's one black guy. It's not like there's just Sam Vincent and everybody else. No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But something about the Celtic green made it feel, because it's Celtic green, Irish, makes it feel white.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, connection.
Right? That's the connection.
Right.
But it was the matchups. You didn't have 10 places to go to watch the game. You understand what I'm saying?
Every game.
Yes.
Every day of the week.
You didn't have all of that. You've got it's too fragmented. And when you bring in more teams, you'll only fragment it more.
Right. And AD, I'm with you, bro. On some nights, like I don't know if y'all can't tell, but I have multiple monitors up here that I'm looking at. So sometimes the camera angle be off or whatever. But what I can do here is have StreamYard right here, and then have the game right here, and then have an out of market game right here. And I can watch 2 games at once, have playback TV minimized in the corner, do StreamYard, watch both games at the same time, right? Now, I'll say when I really kicked it off, my real prime Knicks years started like 1978. So I was a fan about 73, 74, 75, 76, but I was a little boy. You know how you love it, you don't understand it? Right.
Absolutely.
But about 78, I started following the Knicks in earnest when the Knicks drafted a dude named Bill Cartwright, and I thought Bill Cartwright was going to be the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, bro.
But go ahead.
Wrong. I thought Bill Cartwright was going to be the next Wilt Chamberlain, the way the New York media. Bro, see, you had to be there, bro. When you had to be there, like when guys were getting drafted, you know what I'm saying? You get your Michael Ray Richardsons, he's the next Clyde Frazier. And no lie, Michael Ray Richardson was bigger, faster, quicker, stronger than Clyde Frazier.
Absolutely.
But the thing about that is it's not all about your physical stuff. It's about what's upstairs, right? And how fast you learn, right? And how you can use
He
your
should
talent.
have been, for us, he should have been the next Clyde
He should have been. He should have been, because I watched the game.
2.0.
Right, I was at the game, right, as a kid. I was at the game when Magic Johnson couldn't bring the ball up the floor. We were in the nosebleeds, bro. Magic Johnson could not bring the ball up the floor against Michael Ray Richardson had 5 steals in the first quarter and a half. Right, in the first quarter and a half, that dude had 5 on ball, not passing lane steals down, on ball, rip your pocket steals against Magic. Magic could not even bring the ball up. Right. And so when you saw that, you were like, yo, this dude might be better than Clyde. But at the time, by the time that happened, we already knew he wasn't going to be better than Clyde, because Michael Ray was probably in his 4th year. And so you by Clyde's 4th year, Clyde was already winning championships. Right.
But their team just, if they were just, well, I don't want to say they, as in the Knicks, did him wrong.
Right.
He's just a young kid, and they removed Willis, because Willis, who drafted him, Willis was GM and coach.
Yep.
And Willis is kind of like his father figure. Rest in peace to the God. Right?
Yeah.
And then he's in New York, in the tri-state area, but in particular New York, when cats was walking around with Coke spoons around their neck.
Yeah, with around their neck, around their herringbone. Oh,
yeah.
I keep forgetting I can't say herringbone because
sound too much like Redbone.
People don't know what herringbone necklaces are from.
But no. This is the era. The butterfly collar.
Yep.
Right? Polyester gabardine flare pants.
Yep.
You know, platform shoes. He's a
back heel shoes. Yep.
And he's a young dude being taken to all of these places. And, you know, I'll say this for Stern. He helped to clean up the game.
I remember Afro Sheen spray.
Afro Sheen spray, all of that. He's a part of that. And there's no direction. There's really no old head on the team at that point in time to say, Mike, you know, come on, stay here.
Come on, yeah. Yeah, stay in the house, bro.
Stay in the house. You don't got to go out every night.
Yeah.
And he gets caught up in the life and so forth and so forth.
Right. These dudes, bro, because for those that don't remember, all right, so I'll say this just real quick. So I was born in the Vietnam era, right? So I'm a Vietnam era baby, right? Not post-Vietnam. And I'm a Vietnam era baby. And so when vets were coming home, you could see them walking up the street with a duffel bag. They'll have on like the jungle jacket, the camouflage jacket or whatever with their name on it and all that stuff. And to kids that were 4, 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, you see a veteran walking up the street, right? You be like, that used to be like a hero to you, right? You used to ask them you used to ask them stupid stuff like, hey man, can I have your dog tags? No, you can't have my dog tags, really? Can I wear your jacket? And my uncle was a Vietnam vet, right? And in the cold, when it was cold outside, I used to, because I was a tall, skinny kid. I wasn't a tall, big kid until I got married and fell in love with my but
you gonna blame the smoking ass? That what we?
Yeah. I'm blaming her for me putting on 150 pounds. But nah. But my uncle so we shared a last name. So I would grab his army jacket and wear it to the store and be like a little soldier or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I remember dudes tried to jump me one time to take my uncle jacket, and I fought both of them dudes until they got tired, and then both of them dudes ran. Right? Like I legit lay my life on the line for that army jacket, bro. I just fought them dudes and fought them dudes and fought them dudes and fought them dudes till they gave up. Right? But that's just how we felt about during that time. And then, but what we didn't know was a lot of our people were coming home with addictions, like hidden addictions, like heroin. Yes. Right? You know what I'm saying? And then then the older we got, the more we realized that them dudes that was hanging out on the corner, they wasn't just there for camaraderie. They were there because they had these addictions that until you got older, you realize what they were. And then all of a sudden, it's like a alien UFO came down about the size of Texas and just dropped drugs all over the New York tri-state area. And I mean all of y'all area. If you from New York, I don't care what part of New York you from. You can't be like, you can't tell me, man, I'm from Brentwood, man. I'm out on the island. Nah, man. All of our neighborhoods.
It was Heron.
Right. Heron. Yep. Heron just
is the first, it's really that, especially when you go into like, New York City per se, Manhattan, Harlem, Spanish Harlem, up into the Bronx, and so forth. You have a lot of heroin addicts. There's a lot of dope fiend leans going on that we didn't know as kids. We just kind of making fun of people.
The Bronx, New York, y'all too. Brooklyn,
burnt out.
Brooklyn, y'all too.
Brooklyn, absolute. Bronx burnt out. For blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. We just didn't understand.
We didn't know what was going on.
What was going on as little kids? We just was like, life is hard.
Yeah.
but we happy.
and then for y'all that had money, that thought y'all were above heroin, it was cocaine. Cocaine, like all the athletes, not all the athletes, but
a good portion.
A lot of people, they felt like cocaine was the drug above. Cocaine was classy
because they were partying. You have guys like Hollywood Henderson,
right?
Legendary stories. These people were really partying. They were being young, like how young people today are being young and experimenting. They were young and experimenting as well.
Right.
But the thing is, back then you got more chances to experiment.
Right.
Because it was a part of the culture. I've heard cats talk about, during baseball games and games or whatever, you could just go in the back and grab a beer.
Right.
Smoke a cigarette during the game.
Right.
So if you're gonna drink one beer, is it a far cry to say, well, maybe you're gonna drink 2 or 3 at halftime?
Yeah. That was part of the culture.
It's part of the culture.
Right, and I say this about Michael Ray Richardson, like what AD was saying. Michael Ray Richardson should have been one of the greatest Knicks to ever play.
Yes.
He should have been.
Yes.
Should have been. But fortunately and unfortunately for the Knicks, and I say that, and y'all hear me out. I'm not, y'all know I love Michael Ray Richardson, right? Y'all know that. Right? When me and AD first met, I felt like I told AD nobody should ever wear the number 20. Right? I told AD that when we first met.
Yes.
And when me and AD first met, he was like, yo, why you don't like Bernard King? I was like, it's not that I don't like Bernard King. It's how we got Bernard King. And how we acquired Bernard King, fortunately and unfortunately for Michael Ray Richardson and us. The Knicks had enough with Michael Ray Richardson, so they traded a druggie for an alcoholic.
We went from one troubled individual to another troubled individual.
Both of them super talented. Both of them, if they could get it under control, they would be a top 5 player. For Michael Ray, probably a top 20 player in the NBA. For Bernard King, if he got it under control, he'd be a top 3 player in the NBA.
I think he's even higher than that for Michael Ray. Michael Ray could have been, if he's under control. Remember, when he finally gets it all together again in Jersey, they knock off the defending champions in the first round. He dominated Philly.
Yep, I remember that.
Okay? Yeah. Dominated Philly. They didn't have nothing for him. And they're the defending champions first round. Go home.
Yep.
Because he was that good. When you look at highlights of Michael Ray Richardson and, just how guards played back then. Right, I'm just guards in particular.
Right,
you're not coming down and just yucking a 3,
bro. I'm telling you, AD. I'm telling you,
you're gonna be on the bench.
If Michael Ray Richardson played in this era, there would not be Steph Curry, Dame Lillard's, Jalen Brunson's, bro. I'm telling you, bro, because this dude, Michael Ray Richardson, was 6'5",
Legit.
with sprinter speed, not
He
fast on the basketball.
ran 9.9 in high school.
We not and chat. We're not talking about John Morant speed, right? Oh my God, John Morant is fast. Think about a dude that may be 2 times faster than John Morant, right? At 6'5". Super long arms. Wingspan wasn't a thing until when was wingspan a thing? Maybe Tim Duncan era. People started talking about wingspan.
Yeah.
Like
Wingspan was not a thing.
Wingspan. We knew cats had long arms. We just didn't measure it.
We made fun of them. We made fun of Michael Cage.
Right. Right. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld, 6'7".
It was not a thing.
Yeah. 6'7" with like a 7'9" wingspan. We made fun of them.
Phil Jackson.
Yeah. Windmill Phil.
Windmill Phil.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And the thing about Michael Ray Richardson, though, and I'm not saying that Michael Ray Richardson was a lost cause or that talent never reached his potential. What I'm saying is some people have on the road to success. The road to success is littered with dead bodies, right? That's just what it is, right? The road to success is littered with dead bodies because some people are going to get on that road and they're not going to make it for one reason or another, right? Yeah. It's just a part of. It's like without the Harold Miners, do you really have Vince Carters? No, you just won't, right? without the dudes without Gerald Wilkins, do you really have Jason Richardsons of the world? No, you don't, right? Because when you think about Gerald Wilkins and Jason Richardson are probably the same player.
Yeah.
Except one learned how to use his things by the failures of a dude that didn't know how to use his things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Richardson is a little bit better. But I get your point, though. But Gerald begets Richardson. Absolutely.
Right. Because one dude can legit jump out of gym, super athletic, comes from an athletic family.
Yes.
Jason Richardson is super athletic, comes from an athletic family, and then has basketball skills and instincts to go with it.
Gosh, Jason Richardson was good.
Yeah, man.
Could have been better. We got to do it. We really got to do a deep dive into guys that we don't talk about anymore, like how good some of these ball players are.
Bro, Roy Topley. You remember Roy Topley?
Oh man,
a 6'11" jumbo forward with handles. Right.
Absolutely, just.
Should have been the greatest Dallas Maverick ever.
You know, we look at not to cut you, Freezy, but look at a cat like who's now people don't remember him as being a good player, especially a top college player, John Sally.
John Sally at Georgia Tech,
out of Canarsie, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know, we look at John, and John is hilarious. Yeah. Over the years, from this Best Damn Game sports show in the late 90s. Yep. To so many things that he's done in his career and so forth. But when you see him giving interviews and so forth, he is absolutely hilarious. But we forget he was a big time ball player.
Yes. Do you know who his point guard was in college?
Price.
Mark Price. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Mark Price, another, player that we forget about. Mark Price with those early Cleveland teams. I think they were winning like 55 to 57 games every year.
Right. But let me do this real quick. So not the early Cleveland teams. You're talking about the mid 80s Cleveland teams. Right?
Yes.
Because the early Cleveland teams were garbage. Oh my God. Those teams.
The burgundy, the burgundy cheese uniforms.
Yes. With Bill Laimbeer coming off, the people forget Bill Laimbeer was drafted out of Notre Dame by the Cleveland Cavaliers, bro.
And McCluskey from Detroit just plucked him.
Yep.
That's how you team build.
Yep.
You watching the dude and you're like, you know what? He don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with him.
He don't even belong. He don't even belong there. He did the same thing with the backup center and for the Washington Bullets, Rick Mahorn.
Yeah.
Rick Mahorn used to, Rick Mahorn.
We're building something over here and you guys don't know what to do with him. So we're gonna give you a player that, it's always like that. You get a player that's averaging like 18 to 19 points, and you know you don't got no use for him. Yeah, he's a bucket getter, whatever. But for that piece over there, you can have him.
I feel like we did the same thing with Precious Achua. That's what I felt like we did with Precious. Right? Miami didn't know what to do with him. They moved on from Precious after 1 year. Right? Toronto didn't know what to do. They just had him off the bench, just running around behind guys. And now Precious is here with a defined role. You're like, okay.
But it takes a management team to be like, all right, they don't know what to do with him. He's just going from bop to bop. It was the same thing with Chauncey Billups.
Right.
And for an extended period, he's just going from bop to bop. But to Chauncey's, credit, he talks about it. He had to learn those different stops, especially when he got back to Minnesota and he's playing with Terrell Brandon.
Yeah.
I think I might have mentioned this story before. He said that Terrell Brandon is killing it one game in the first half. Terrell Brandon got like 18 and 8.
Right.
And he comes into the locker room and Terrell Brandon's like, yo, this shit ain't going well. He's like, Terrell, what are you talking about? You got 18 and 8. But he's like, KG only got 4.
Right.
So if I don't get KG going, if I don't get him going early in this next whatever, we losing this game.
Right.
And then I'm after this game is going to be got the next game or the next game. And he said that's how he learned, pace from like a point guard and the mindset. Not that Terrell could have had 40 that game. But what is it to have 40 and lose when you're not the franchise?
Right. AD, that happened to us yesterday against the Utah Jazz. Guys checking up shots. Yesterday when I saw it, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, we're gonna lose this game. Right? Because I noticed that and not to get away from the topic, but just that when I noticed that the Knicks did not go inside to test Walker Kessler with probably the best offensive big man in the league, I knew we were going to lose that game because you live and die by the 3, right? In those scenarios, you live and die by the 3, and we were dying by the 3, and we didn't have an alternate plan. We didn't have a plan B, right? And so once those 3s were not going, I was like, you know what? Yeah,
the 3 is here to stay because that's what the league has implemented. Right. But individual games, like one of the things that I love, and I'm watching it grow so nice and organically, is the relationship between Cat and Brunson. Right. The 2-man game is starting to be a real thing, right? But you can fall. Cat has a beautiful stroke. Pause on the 3.
Yeah.
But the game doesn't start and end from behind the 3-point line.
No, you can't start it from there. That's the point that I'm getting at. Right. Yep.
You can lose it like that. That's how Houston lost to Golden State with D'Antoni.
Yeah.
He doubled down. It's I don't know if I've ever said this before. It's the one time outside of a Knicks press conference that I could not wait to watch, because the one thing with D'Antoni, he is truculently.
Right.
You hear me? Truculently. It isn't such a word. Honest.
It sounded right.
It sounded like
right. That's all that matters.
He's too damn honest.
Right.
He goes into the press conference and doubles down. Would you do anything different? They were up somewhere between 12 to 16 in different margins of the game, whatever. And they just kept firing the threes.
Yeah.
He helped them. They should have put his name on the damn trophy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they were up 3-2.
Yeah.
CP3 gets hurt.
Yeah.
Right? And then they just kind of we're gonna 3 this. We're gonna 3 this the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, Freezy, I do gotta run, sir.
Yeah.
We can get lost in these old school conversations. Salute to the chat, man. Thank you guys again. We don't know.
I gotta ask you one question before we go. One question before we go. Lisa and Colt Jam or CeCe Peniston?
You should stop right there, Lisa. That's my heartstring. Talk about nepotism. She carried the Colt Jam dudes. They wanted to separate them.
Yeah.
She refused. That's my heart. That is my Latina heartstring forever.
bro.
With the little hair cut across it. She used to have the little eye hairstyle.
Yo, Aaliyah stole that hairstyle. Remember Aaliyah used to do the thing? That's Lisa.
That's Lisa. Rest in peace.
Lisa. Yeah.
Absolutely from what she oh my gosh, she's from New York City. What's that? Hell's Kitchen. She's from Hell's Kitchen.
She's from Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Like right in between.
Love that woman, yo. Out the gate. Out the gate.
Bro.
Fine.
The first time, bro, the first time I heard her on, we were at a party. You know, remember when people used to throw parties in their backyard? So we was at a party, man. I was about what I don't know, was I like 17? And the song comes on. This is right after like the 84. This is like what, 85, I guess?
This is like 84, 83, 84.
Was it 83?
It's right in that Shannon era.
Right. Oh,
Shannon. Right in that.
Shannon, let the music play, baby.
What?
Let the music
forever.
Her and Patrice Rushen.
Would just, you put on a Shannon record, it would just immediately, whether you could break or not. Now, I was a vicious pop locker. I'm not even gonna argue that. Like, all of that. Right. Let that record come on, baby.
Bro, and we you remember when I remember I asked Mr. Jones, I'm like, Mr. Jones, when you gonna throw out some whatever? Because Mr. Jones was a handyman. Mr. Jones is like, y'all boys be stealing my rugs. Yeah, we stealing your rugs. We want to break dance, right? This is the era, and I don't know if y'all remember this or not. Linoleum was new to us in the hood, right? Yes. Because for the most part, people used to have carpet all over the house except the kitchen and bathroom, right? Right. And so when somebody replaced their linoleum in the kitchen, cats would be outside like waiting. Like, would you ever doing that?
Ugly as hell. I hated linoleum. Ugly as hell.
And it always
served the purpose.
It was always yellow and lime green or some shit. But the thing about that is, bro, when it'll be like
you could get a spin on. You could definitely get a spin on that and the cardboard box.
In a cardboard box, bro.
Either one.
And we talking about that. We talking about the TV boxes, right? Like the floor models would come in where you could just cut it and spread it all.
Spread it out. Yes. Cut it and spread it out. Yes.
It'd be mad big. You get on there, bro. Yeah, man.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we can't forget those eras, Freezy, but we do have to leave it right there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We don't know where this journey started, but once again, it ended.
Hitting Murphy.
You. Hitting. Look for us, me and Freezy, in the whirlwind. Garvey.
Yeah. Look out your window. Knicks fans is on your block. Y'all know the Knicks run the city. Pull them shades back. Look out your window. Look down there on the block. That's Knicks fans right there. It's about that time. It's about that time of the week where you get ready for your work week with the man that is so smooth he does not require a chaser. Your main man, the real Anthony D, and your main